Thank you for joining us. I'm Marni Hughes, and this is Missing. Each week, we cover missing persons cases from across the country. Every missing person matters, no matter their background, race, religion, or circumstances. This week's featured case, Tyler Weathersby, out for a morning walk in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, when he vanishes. That was September 4th, and there's been no sign of Tyler since. Police say they've exhausted all their leads and need the public's help in finding him. Coming up, Law Olmsted, founder and president of the Missing Persons Center, joins us to talk more about Tyler's disappearance. First, though, some other cases that we are following. The search for Suzanne Simpson continues into a second week. The mother of four from San Antonio disappeared on October 6th. Investigators are now searching a landfill in the area. Suzanne vanished after an alleged fight with her husband. Neighbors say they heard screaming outside of the couple's home and witnessed a physical altercation. Suzanne's husband, Brad Simpson, is now in custody and reportedly not cooperating with authorities. Suzanne's mom has told several news outlets that she doesn't believe her daughter is alive, but will not stop looking for answers. Vendula Rose is also missing. According to her family, she left her home in Marysville, Ohio, to go hiking in Alabama on September 20th. Vendula had lived in Birmingham previously and enjoyed exploring the woods in that area on day trips. Her car was found October 5th abandoned at a trailhead. Vendula, who also goes by Wendy, loves nature and is also a pilot. Her daughter Dana says they are worried sick for her, but they're holding on to hope that she is okay. There's also renewed interest in another missing case, the disappearance of Caitlin Dennison. The Texas Department of Public Safety is asking for the public's help. Caitlin, who was 19 years old at the time of her disappearance in 2018, reportedly met a man in Reno and then flew with him to Midland, Texas. Investigators believe the pair stopped at a Domino's Pizza and then went to Rick's Cabaret. That was the last time her family and friends heard from her. Contact the Texas Rangers if you have any information that can help in bringing Caitlin home safely. Thousands of you are also following our case on David Brown. He vanished while on a walk with his brother in Florida in early August. David was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer this year, and his wife believes that he is disoriented and now lost. David was seen on surveillance cameras in the area he went missing with his shirt torn and wearing just one shoe. Amy Brown talked to me about David and his state of mind around the time he vanished.
David was confused. He suffers from bipolar disorder, and he had taken himself off of his medication when he found out he had cancer. I was not aware of this. And so I started to see some signs of that manic state coming on. And that's when I decided to maybe taking him to see his brother, we could hit a reset button, because he was clearly under a lot of stress, being at home, trying to finish a home that we were building and, dealing with the cancer.
David turned 70 recently, and the couple also had just celebrated their 27th wedding anniversary. Amy calls David the love of her life, and she desperately wants him home. For a closer look at the timeline and the clues in his disappearance, you can go to newsnation.com/missing to watch our entire report. Now to this week's featured case, Tyler Weathersby, a simple walk in the morning by all accounts. That's what it was for a father in South Dakota when he simply vanished. The community of Sioux Falls is now galvanizing to find Tyler. He's a father, a business owner, and a husband who stood solidly by his wife as she rebuilt her life after a deadly crime.
The serenity of the suburbs hosting Tyler Weathersby on one of the last known videos of the South Dakota father. Dressed for the early September weather, but without his cell phone or wallet, he walked slowly under no apparent duress.
We're coordinating drone searches on some of the last areas that the individual was seen, either by us on camera somewhere or been reported to us.
It's been extremely difficult. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of breakdowns. trying to hold it together for our children.
Tyler's wife, Monalisa Perez, says he has 2 stepchildren, and the couple just welcomed a baby girl this year. Beautiful reasons why he would never just leave.
Yes, this is out of character for him.
I'm hurt, I'm hurt because I know that this isn't my brother.
Tyler's brother lives in Wyoming, yet has been deeply involved in the search, securing a private investigator and raising money for a lawyer specializing in missing persons and criminal cases.
The public has been amazing, supporting the search groups, handing out missing person flyers, sending me video footage that they may have found of Tyler, different screenshots and proofs and different documentation that may lead to hopefully finding Tyler soon.
We saw some effects.
Weathersby and his wife own a streetwear company once featured on Kelloland News in Sioux Falls.
2020, through all the chaos, there was some blessings, and we were able to pivot and find, some good moments.
And Monalisa Perez made news worldwide herself in 2017, arrested for a live YouTube stunt after the death of her then boyfriend, who reportedly talked her into shooting him with a handgun through a book. Perez pled guilty to second-degree manslaughter.
Tyler has friends, family, and loved ones who care about him deeply. For some in the public, this has become internet sleuthing or real crime drama or entertainment.
The focus now on finding Tyler, a much-loved father, brother, and husband.
I just want my husband home. And if he's out there, please know that you are loved. Please come home.
Joining us now to talk more about the case, Law Olmsted, founder and president of the Missing Persons Center. Law, welcome to you as always. This one is particularly peculiar to me. There's just not a lot to go on. We have this walk in the morning. He left his wallet and his cell phone behind. As you look at this case from the outside, what stands out to you?
There's so many things that are just so odd about this case. We talk about these cases all the time, and I get hundreds of cases a month that come through our office. And this one is very, very surprising to me because when I look at the video footage that is out there in the public of him taking this morning walk, there seems to be something off about his gait. The way he's walking in a couple of the frames where he's moving his arms in some fashion. If he's not speaking on the phone or listening to music or something, he's doing something with his arms that's concerning to me. Besides the pace at which he's walking, he seems to be wandering, like he's just wandering around the neighborhood aimlessly with no real direction, just kind of walking around. So that's the first thing that stands out to me. Another thing that stands out to me, which is really typical in a lot of cases, is leaving property behind. In this case, his cell phone and his wallet. But what's unusual about that is that there's no mention of any ATM card missing. There's nothing missing, at least not being reported missing, from the wallet, which is kind of unusual because oftentimes if someone is planning on leaving, even if they're walking away, they have to have access to money. And so that is another thing. Then surrounding the video, again, is Gregory Weathersby, Tyler's brother, said that he saw a video where Tyler is taking the walk at 7:15 in the morning, but Gregory was contacted by someone very close to both of them, Tyler especially, at 8:05 in the morning, stating that Tyler went on his walk at 7:45. So now we're already running into timeline discrepancies. There's things that aren't matching up. And, normally I like to come to you with some facts and things that we can kind of start our research on. But this one is very peculiar.
Right. And I agree. There's just not a lot to go on. This video is really our only clue. The other thing, to your first point about his gait, his walk that stood out to you, his wife has said, Monalisa Perez has said that Tyler was stressed, but she has not elaborated to our knowledge on what that stress was. But when you see him walk, is that a sign of distress? Is that what you're alluding to?
You know what? I don't think so. If I'm going to give you my opinion, I believe Tyler was either under the influence of drugs or he was drugged.
Interesting. And why so? Why do you think that?
because just the way he's walking, that's not a regular routine gait for your morning walk. Something was off about the way he was walking. Now we have to remember there's communication between Gregory and, I don't know if it's Monalisa, Tyler's wife, but what Gregory is saying in a 23 or so minute long interview with local media is that someone had tried to tell Gregory that Tyler was suffering from some sort of psychosis. Gregory adamantly denies that that's even a possibility. So why would that even come into the conversation unless someone is trying to set the stage for what we're seeing now?
Interesting. The other thing that's happening here, Law, police in this area in Sioux Falls say they've never seen the attention on a case as much as they're getting for this one. That has led them to be very specific about the solicitation of information. They have said only if you have information pertinent to this case do we want to hear about it. We don't want to hear your theories. What do you make of that message from police?
Well, you know what? This is one of those situations when you get two people, a husband and wife, that are aspiring social influencers. You know, they really do want attention. When we look all the way back to when Monalisa shot her boyfriend in 2017, that was a publicity stunt. There's a lot of strange things around that situation too that should make authorities very concerned. Monalisa states in an interview in local media as well, that she actually met Tyler online in 2016 and was maintaining quite an intimate relationship with him all the way through the shooting of her boyfriend, which is very, very strange. So I don't even know what to think about that. But another thing this could be, and I'm saying this for police to take a look at because of the social media aspects of this. If Tyler isn't suffering through something, whether being under the influence of drugs, being poisoned, this also should be looked at, and you have to investigate this as a publicity stunt.
Wow. That would be wild and very troubling if that were to be true. Let's bring the public in here. They're very concerned about Tyler's whereabouts. There have been drones and searches on foot in that community. It's also a pretty rugged area. You start to get into the Badlands. Talk about the investigative side of the public's help and assistance looking for evidence.
I'm sorry, Marni. I didn't even hear that.
That's okay. I'm talking about the search and the public's role in helping to find him. Investigatively, how can the public be of assistance in this area, given some of the rugged terrain that surrounds Sioux Falls?
Well, you know, everybody needs to check their own yards. Oftentimes, you know, if somebody's under the influence or going through some kind of, mental episode where they're just not really all together, sometimes they end up in people's backyards, in their garages, in trash cans and sheds, anywhere. So anybody in the local community, I would advise take a look around your property and see if you see anything, because especially your video cameras as well. Make sure you've taken a quick look of that, because there in this area here, there should be no reason that someone like Tyler would not be found if he had fallen somewhere or he was unconscious or whatever. Somebody would have found him by now. We're talking, this is 6 weeks ago. Also, there's supposedly reports of two people that he may have encountered. Somebody in a vehicle had stopped and spoke to him, and someone on a bicycle. The local media, the local police, neighbors, people need to be canvassing, putting out, missing persons flyers, but trying to get the public's awareness of these two possible witnesses to find out what the interaction was between them. Drones, the police should be using drones all over this city to see what they can find within at least a 1 mile radius, I'd say, of where he left. And also, one thing that not enough police agencies are using, which I have used in the past very successfully, are scent discriminate trailing canine units. These are canines, dogs, that are trained to scent discriminate, meaning they are provided something of Tyler's, we'll say in this instance, that smells like him, that has his natural scent on it. They're given the scent article, it's called, and then they're on their job. They're looking for that scent. they will literally find him no matter where he is. Even now, 6 weeks later, there's a good chance they could still find his scent to lead authorities to somewhere where he was last seen. And I don't think that this local police department has this capability or is even aware of it or called upon maybe a county resource or even a state resource or local search and rescue volunteer organizations who do have canines with this capability.
Well, you bring up some important points and certainly a lot of tools at their disposal if they so choose to use them. I certainly hope that this is not some sort of stunt, but all options are on the table for law enforcement in this open investigation. Law, thank you as always. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
If you have any information that can help in the search for Tyler Weathersby, contact the police in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We've got that number on your screen. Next week in our Missing series, the search for answers in the disappearance of Chelsea Cabo. She's from Brooklyn, New York. I met Chelsea's mom at CrimeCon in Nashville this year, where she shared with me her heartbreak.
I've been talking, but nobody's listening. And here I can talk to people and maybe they'll listen, maybe they'll help.
Tune in next week for a closer look at Chelsea's case and the timeline around her disappearance. And if you have a missing person case you think we should be looking into, scan the QR code on your screen and let us know about it. Many of the cases that we cover come from you. And also make sure to check out our 1-hour missing special on NewsNationNow.com. We highlight some of the biggest unsolved cases in our missing series and showcase some of the cases you have helped us solve. Joe Petito also joins us, his daughter Gabby's disappearance and tragic death, the reason we started our Missing series, dedicated to covering missing people of all races and backgrounds. Thank you as always for joining us. I'm Marni Hughes in Chicago, and this is Missing. I'll see you next week.